What I find fascinating about painting is the expression. Free expression of feelings and moods. Well, I'm always painting without thinking. Of course, I think at a certain level about mixing paint and the use of the materials, but never about the composition. It all forms on the go. I'm using water mixable oils, so it's quite easy to change the thickness of the paint and transparency, and then do whatever comes up and just follow my intuition. And sometimes it's almost an automatic writing. When I have to wait until a layer is dry, the next layer is also intuitive, and so the organic painting leads the way to his own creation. Well, I love yellow color, bright yellow, and red of course, but yellow is beautiful color. And I have to think, with yellow, I always have to think of Nelson Mandela, because, you know, when he came out of the prison after 28 years at the Robben Island, in his mind, he was free. He was a free man. And he went out and he bought a t-shirt, yellow t-shirt, and he said, yellow is the color of the sun. And that was his mindset. And that is what I love about it, about yellow and this mindset of, you know, freedom. And I'm working with exceptionally gifted children and adults. I'm coaching them, and I always remind them of the yellow color and Nelson Mandela, and how you can choose freedom no matter where you are, because the freedom you choose is the freedom within. Well, people sometimes ask me why am I painting, and if I'm selling anything and things like that. And but painting is not about selling. It's about sharing your energy, actually. It's about sharing what you feel, what you get from, well, from the universe. You transform it on a canvas, and that is what you share. You are sharing energy. Well, I can't even remember when I started to paint. My mother has one of my first paintings in watercolor. It's a field of sunflowers. Well, I have been drawing and painting as long as I can remember, but it is just recently that I have this studio. And before that, I was just painting at my home. Well, I was born in Czech Republic, and I can remember very vividly running through the large garden at my grandmother's and doing nothing but climbing, collecting butterflies and eating pears and plums and drawing. Or perhaps this rich South Moravian folklore has inspired me, well, with the choice of colors. I love bright and I love red. I studied at the design academy for shoe designer, and that was the only education on drawing. The painting is self-taught. I'm not selling paintings, the paintings are choosing their owner. So if someone is coming here to my studio and they feel connection with the painting, then this painting is choosing them, and they will get kind of energetic relationship with the painting, and then they could choose this painting. So it's not selling like through screens. It doesn't work, because you can't feel it exactly. You can't feel the depth of a painting. You can't feel the layers of a paint. I'm using modeling paste, cloth and even plants and branches. Sometimes I'm using oil sticks and I like to experiment with them because you can quite easily mix them with traditional oil paint. Well, I used to make drawings with charcoal and oil pastels, but at the moment it's all about water mixables and oil sticks. I love to use thick layers of paint which express my intensity. Finishing takes time, of course, because the layers have to dry, but first 2 layers are there. And then everything evolves from there. Well, what's my favorite color? Well, yellow and red, but I think all colors are my favorite colors because I paint in blue, brown, pink. I think I don't have exactly one favorite color, but it depends on the mood which I would like to express at that certain moment. And the colors are translating these moods and these emotions and these feelings and to a canvas, and therefore the colors are corresponding with my inner world. So as I write poems or ideas, immediately I get them in my head. I do painting as well. Well, it's not through the head actually, it's rather through the heart. And then the head carries it out. I think the art is very needed, certainly at this point where we are in our evolution in the state of the world, because there are too many people living in fear, because they don't realize how beautiful the world is. Artists have to remind people how beautiful the world is and how you can tap into this universal energy and do with it whatever you want. So the artists are very important in the world. Maybe they are even more important than the scientists, because scientists are talking about what already exists and what is seeable, what you can see, what you can measure. That's what science is about. But the art is just the opposite. It's about what you can't see, what you can't measure, but what you can feel and what is there. So therefore, the art is even more important than science. Intuitive painting is the only possible way of painting for me. All the other ways are designing. Well, designing is something you think about, but you don't think about in painting. You just paint. Sometimes the urge to paint is inevitable, and I get to my studio and I paint. Painting means discovering of yourself, not the external world, but the internal. With painting, one shows the innermost core of oneself, and although one might feel restricted by the size of the canvas, the painting is in fact infinite. And I communicate my infinite internal state of being with the infinite state of cosmos. And we are getting on quite well. It's a divine message which comes through me to the earth. So why I'm doing this? Because I like to share my energy. And I like this creation, this process of creating, you know, to let my energies flow and then do something with it. And in my case, it's not music, I'm not playing piano. Well, I'm playing piano, but I'm not composing anything. So I'm painting. That's my expression of the universal energy. What fascinates me is that a painting always finishes itself. I am painting the energy of life.